What's up, guys? Welcome back to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here at Vendetta, and yeah, sorry about that. Been a minute.
Crazy.
Just a little bit of time. Yeah, for the curious, I posted a little something on the main page of our channel, and I think 2 or 3 of you probably look at that. So those couple of you, congratulations, you're in the know. The rest of you, I posted a little thing up there that said basically Vendetta's got a crazy new work schedule here, and we're still trying to figure out the best days that we can do, gameplay records and then audio commentaries and do some uploads and stuff for you guys. So bear with us. We haven't forgotten about you, I swear. We're going to keep this thing going. We're not going anywhere, I promise. Right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. All right. So anyway, back to the madness that is our no services city, or really our one service city. Is that really the best way to say it, I think?
Yeah, just medical.
Yeah, just medical. We got to treat the cough. But other than that, and you know what? I think removal of poop and garbage is also a service. It may not count, in the standard sense, but I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I think that if we didn't do that, then things would go to pieces even more than they already are in our current cities. So,
yeah, I don't think our cities would actually function if you left those off.
No, I really don't. So, but so it looks like we're starting off in your area here, and as denoted by the V at the top left for you astute viewers, congratulations. And looks like you're finally starting to crawl out of the cellar a little bit on your population, but you still got a little while to go. But
Yeah, I'm trying to provide you some more water because you were complaining that there was no water.
Yeah, and that's because I've got those ore extraction facilities started up and going over there trying to make some money, and they suck the water. All the water. Send me all the water. It's bad. And I'm pretty sure I'm landlocked as well, so...
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I've got nothing going on over there, so I'm totally relying on you for water unless I do a bunch of sewage treatment plant type things and try to make my own. But I'm trying to conserve some of my real estate over there and, use it for housing and for lots and lots of oil. Or not oil, you're doing the oil. Minerals. Ores. I gotta get my terms straight. But speaking of, check you out with your crazy pumps.
Yeah. My oil industry is really starting to take off. It's actually kind of done at this point. I think I only had just a few more oil wells to build, and it was pretty much, I'm pretty much complete. And as you can see, the money is really rolling in. I'm making a nice profit, which is good because of the fire keeps burning down, 3/4 of the city at a time. So.
Yeah, believe me, I know the feeling, and we'll see that as we keep flashing back and forth here across our cities for the remainder of the video. That little red helmet down there at the bottom pretty much never goes away. The game is 100% ticked at all times that we have no fire service and no police. There's the police badge blinking for you now, too. But still, I notice you got a nice big green happiness meter there.
Yeah, they're happy to live in a dying, burning city.
Yeah, so I don't know. It must be that, as long as they can get to where they want to go in their cars, and spend monies and stuff, they don't care that, the building next door is burning down, as long as they can go out and buy a hot dog and come home and watch TV, and then they're happy.
Reminds me of Detroit in the
80s. Seriously. It's like, riots! No. Oh, that'd be terrible.
I love cocaine. I'm so happy. So happy.
Well, that was the 80s in general, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
I've heard stories. I don't know. Yeah, I was alive in the 80s, but I was playing with G.I. Joes at that time. I wasn't really interested in any of that.
I was a twinkle in somebody's eye.
Yeah, your dad, I think, is probably who that was. I'm just taking a guess at it,
Just a guess.
Unless there's a stork involved or something. I don't know.
He makes pickles.
Yeah. Vlasic. Yeah. This broadcast brought to you by... We need to get a little picture in there. That'd be perfect, yeah. Then we'll get sued by Vlasic for advertising for them for free.
Right.
That's the kind of move that, that's the move we pull off here in America, folks. If you're from outside our wonderful country here, yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens. You say the wrong thing or show the wrong thing in a video, the company that owns the rights gets upset with you, even though it's actually free advertising. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, you try
for
to
reference on that, see Nintendo.
I was just gonna say that you stole my thunder.
Oh, sorry, sorry. This is what we get for not pre-scripting, right? Anyway, so yeah, there's some bulldoze opportunities that you had there, I see. That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my trade HQ going, so I'm just putting down some randomness.
Yeah, you got to lay some more just actual depots in so you can get that daily profit going, so you're allowed to build the extensions and all that fun stuff. So that's nifty. I mean, you got to like that. But
Yeah, kind of checking the prices on the minerals there. Uh, just seeing what they are because they've been fluctuating, and seems like fuel and plastic they were high in the initial kind of turn on of the global market, and they've really tanked since then.
yeah, did that say like 25 or something like that
It did.
for the plastics? Well, I seem to remember them being in like 37 or somewhere in that neighborhood
Yeah, I remember it
originally.
being a lot higher than that too.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and we'll just kind of have to roll with it, roll the punches here. But switch over to the Goose Town here in Thunder Ridge, and yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking for right there.
Fire.
Yeah, probably. Well, no, I don't have to look far for fire. That's for sure. There's fire everywhere all the time in my city. It's kind of crazy. So, and there's my petition to build a processor factory, which I am not going to do. So
Well, hey, they won't burn down.
that's a good point. Yeah. But, I really don't have the real estate for it at this point, and it's not the kind of town that I want to build, but at least, I mean, I got a nice, assortment of people here, you know, and I got, 41,000 residents, and I'm pulling 12K an hour, and got a whole bunch of money sitting around, which is hilarious considering that, around 10% of my town seems to be on fire most minutes that I look around.
Yeah, at any given time, there's 10% of your city.
It's awful. It's like I'll spend a little time over here, but I'm noticing here too. Check out the factories are rebuilding some and starting to. It looks like they're kind of starting to come up
Tech level.
in tech level, but noticing in the education area there that doesn't show anything yet. So I'm not sure what was happening there, but I think it actually does come up a little bit later. Making use of that community college that I put in.
Did you
And
notice? I'm curious. Did you really notice a big difference, like in your fire, like when you put in the community college?
I have not yet, but in retrospect right now, I mean, the education level has not increased all that much at this point.
That's true.
I'm hoping that over the course of, the next couple of hours, that we play, and thereby being the next few videos that we show, that education level and tech level will increase a decent amount and reduce some of the fire and maybe even some of the crime for me. But ultimately, it's just always going to be a problem. I mean, there's always going to be stupid people, and there's always going to be accidents. The best you can do really if you're trying this kind of a challenge is keep the garbage picked up. I mean, that's critical. You have to have the garbage picked up. That's just, you're stupid if you don't do that, And otherwise, keep the roads clear so people can get around and everything, and maybe use public transit more often. Just to do that and at least help the emergency vehicles. That is the ambulances. Get to people that got burned alive. And that's about all you can really do. But because when you're trying this crazy city, and there's all the buses doing their crazy thing again, following each other like little worms.
Yeah, glad they fixed that.
Yeah, oh well, I know. We complain about it like every time, but it's just, I feel like I have to include a little blurb about it every single video until it actually gets fixed. That's just me. But
Yeah.
and I have murderers. Yay!
Awesome.
What town is complete? You said it was like Detroit, right?
No, that's my city.
Oh, that's your city. That's
Yeah,
right.
I don't know
Yeah.
who you're like.
I'm going to rename this Mega City 1, I think. I'm going to go with
Mega
that.
City 1.
Right out of Judge Dredd. Or it's just Dredd now, right?
Terrible.
This broadcast brought to you by Dredd and Vlasic Pickles.
Better yet,
Seriously?
Dread holding a Vlasic pickle.
Perfect.
Would that be
Perfect.
construed as sexual?
Care of Netflix. I don't know. It probably wouldn't have been if you wouldn't have just mentioned it. But now that you have, I'm sure our viewers can put together a few, fan fiction pieces.
I'd like to
No.
give him like an overly large pickle with that.
Oh Lord. Okay. Here we go, folks. Here is me, TFGoose, officially requesting that you not flood my YouTube inbox with pictures of Judge Dredd holding a pickle.
No,
okay?
he's just kidding. Do it.
I'm not. I really am not. We're not going to make it the new logo or something. That would be upsetting.
That would be awesome. A goose holding a pickle.
A goose holding a pickle.
Goose holding a pickle with the Judge Dredd helmet. Bam!
With, God, see, now you stole my thunder.
Ah!
All right? See? Great minds, though, right?
Right?
Something about thinking with likenesses and, whatever.
It's almost like we're telepathic.
Could be. Could be. We could be heroes.
Oh.
We don't even know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, I get to be the Green Power Ranger.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and let you have that one. That's all you, bud. No question. You don't have any problem. I'm just tearing down a bunch of people's houses here, by the way.
Yeah, you have
Notice
like
all
a
these-
bunch of them.
Yeah, they just keep cropping up by the minute. It's unbelievable. People just can't seem to stay in their homes. They either burn them down or they just leave.
Yeah, I was going to make an Oklahoma joke there, but I kind of refrained from that.
Oh, yeah, good. But referencing it in a regretful sense definitely doesn't have the same impact. That's good. No, what's going on is everybody's leaving because of crime, and that's certainly understandable. I'm just wondering, as we've said from the beginning, this is kind of an experiment just to see how bad we can let it get before basically the city just falls apart and implodes upon itself.
Yeah, so question on that topic. Is the city performing worse or better than you had expected?
Right now, I think it's performing better than expected. It's still a pain in the butt. I'll put it this way. What I expected coming into this challenge is having to do a ton of micromanagement, which you and I can both attest is absolutely on par with what's going on.
Yeah.
But I expected that like hourly rate, like your RCI income and, would be more heavily affected. I expected that population wouldn't increase, as quickly as it is, especially on my side, just because I got an infrastructure up quicker than you did just because you spent a lot more on avenues at the beginning of the game, which I think are going to serve you really well later.
Maybe.
But by the way, I'm speaking of your avenues. Do you see that little gap in your avenues right there?
In the,
On the left, at the corner there.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. We'll have to button that up at some point so you can get your streetcars going up and down there.
I think I do actually a little later.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. But yeah, so I guess I'd say that as far as the amount of work you have to put in to maintain the city, it's pretty much right where I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. But, as far as, how well the city is performing, I mean, I think when we flipped away from my city there, I was pulling 14.5 an hour.
Yeah.
And granted, I've got a lot of money right now, but that's also because, I've got that ore, trading business going too. So that's helping. It's not just the RCI, but 14.5 an hour for a city with no fire and no police, I'm pretty stoked about that, like I think that's a reasonable return. Now it's just going to be interesting as population continues to increase, and more people come in and more fires happen and people move out and stuff because crime's crazy. I'm wondering if it'll reach critical mass where there's like more criminals than there are law-abiding citizens.
I don't think you can go that high.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering. I'm kind of curious what the test is,
Yeah.
How bad can it possibly get? And can it ever be so bad that the city literally can't sustain itself anymore? And I don't think it's going to happen, to tell you the truth. My prediction at this point is that the city will never just totally implode,
I don't think so either.
And the reason being is I think what's happening, and we'll see how this goes again over the next few videos, but what's the one thing that shuts down a city most of the time is
Traffic.
You get a lot of traffic, right? Traffic goes crazy, and then what happens? People can't get to work. People, can't put out if you have fire and police, they can't get to where they need to get to help you. People get ticked. And people start to leave. And of course, if you have any sort of industry in your city, especially if that industry is tourism or gambling, those completely fall apart because no one can get anywhere, and things just start to go down. But the thing is, the reason that's a problem is because you typically have stacked your city with all of these upgraded services, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there with a police precinct, and stuff like that. So I think that like the basic thing, did you get bounced in the middle?
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, congratulations.
I thought
yeah,
we
it
cut
happens
that out,
sometimes.
but maybe we did.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. My bad. It's all right. But so yeah, hey, guys, this is the menu screen for SimCity. I'm sure no one's ever seen it before, ever.
Yay, there's my desktop.
Yay! It's all right. Oh, look, I'm gonna have to blank out a couple of things too now that I'm looking at this. That's pretty funny. Oh well, screw it. Anyway, but the point is, what I was getting back to, as we load back in, is that I think that if you load up your city with police precincts and freaking hospitals and all this other crazy, that's what you end up paying for.
Yeah.
That's what goes absolutely bananas, and that's what costs you the most. So I think that if you keep those things out of there, as we're doing here, we don't have no crazy fire department. We don't have a crazy police precinct. It's not there. We're not going to get impacted as much by that growing population and that traffic problems and all that stuff because they've never had it in the first place.
Yeah, and something else to that effect that I was thinking about is really, is it any different, like when traffic becomes such a problem that your services can't get to where they're going, is it any different than if you don't have them at all? Actually, I think it's a little better.
Right, because then now, if you have it and they just can't get there, you're paying money per hour
for something that doesn't work.
Right. Whereas instead, you can just not have it at all. You've saved that real estate on the ground for, RCI buildings, or even a park or something that's going to work all the time, doing something.
Yeah.
Or you can put a trade building there that's going to work much better, typically. So you can actually earn income off the same land space that was draining you.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're not losing anything either because so what? You can't put the fire out. Well, we weren't putting it out before either.
That's good. That's a valid point, guys. And so
tear down the building, build it again. Who cares? So it comes to the point of, maybe it's a testing thing. Maybe this is something that they need to consider. Like, maybe there should be a higher impact on happiness, and such for your Sims if you just haven't bothered to include any of these basic services. If something's missing, maybe it should be a really huge detriment to happiness to counterbalance the fact that you can get around not having this crap.
Yeah, and it's kind of a core function of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
so
throw that out there, and we're just like, no, we're not going to build that. And, not doing too bad. Hasn't really been a problem so far. So kind of a strange scenario there, but I don't know. Maybe it's going to turn around. Like I said, we're only, at this point, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of like an hour and a half into the gameplay. Yeah.
Trying to get these cities up and running. So probably premature to be talking, as doomsday-ish as I am at this point. But if the future is any indication, from the past, or the past is any indication for the future, I can talk, then, it's not going to be a big detriment. It's not going to be a big problem, but we'll see how it goes. And for right now, though, it's just a lot of micromanagement. It's a lot of tearing down buildings, a lot of me, yours truly sending Maxis Man out on horrible patrols for way too much money. No. So I know you love that.
Well, this might be kind of mean, but it's like, I'm sure glad they included that as like the pre-order, because if I had to pay money for those two, I would demand a refund. Because they're pretty worthless.
Yeah, I mean, Maxis Man just seems like he's a drain. But again, as I've been saying so far, my goal is to try to use him, to level him up some, to see if he ever actually becomes anything that's worth having and that's viable and fun. But right now, it seems like the only thing he's good for is something else for me to go click on. Like there he is. There's his building. I can click on that. And at least it's costing me, $900 an hour.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. And then it costs another $500 on top of that every time you want to send them out.
Yeah, and that's just the stuff now. I think the stuff later costs more.
Yeah.
When he can actually do more stuff. And he just gains his renown so slowly, And he's supposed to be gaining renown now for picking up injured people. I know for a fact there's tons of injured people in my town. There has to be.
There ain't
no police or fire. Yeah, seriously. I mean, there's hit and runs everywhere and cars exploding and, buildings burning to the ground. There has to be some injured people running around, So he's got to be able to find somebody and pick up some more renown points faster than he is. And right now he just takes way too long to recycle And I'm wondering if we're even going to get a chance to really test him thoroughly during this play test because, we run these cities for, a few more hours. We're probably going to kind of make a decision on him and say, all right, well, this seems like it's, either broke or it's going to be viable. And, that's going to be it. I don't know that we have enough moxie in us for him to run, 200 or 300, more missions out there. I don't know that I'm going to be playing this city for 200 or 300 more days.
I tried to play him in a city offline, and I played this city for a good like 8 hours, and I got him like up to the tier 2 stuff, but it just took forever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's just something that I always wanted to experiment with it. That's the bottom line. So, yep, I'm experimenting here in probably the worst scenario where I possibly could because I'm already like handicapping myself pretty horribly, but or not. Maybe I'm just saving myself a bunch of money by doing it this way, and as long as you don't mind going around and tearing down buildings every few minutes.
At this point, I'm inclined to think that you're actually saving yourself money.
It could be. We're going to find out. But I just got my smelting division unlocked there, thank goodness. So we get to deal with that. And I'll go ahead and get a factory in place and start cranking out. Well, the goal here is to be going for alloy. That's what we want to do.
So you can have even more money than you already have.
That's the plan. Yeah, that's what we want to do. But of course, I don't have any coal in this town, really.
It's so cheap.
So I'm just going to buy it. Yeah, just import it in and then start making the stuff. And I'm going to have to tear down one of the community college buildings, I think, is what it's telling me. Or no, I didn't do that. That's right. I couldn't remember if I pulled that off or not, but we'll have to see. Maybe I will. I don't know. But, yeah, this is just a really, really good little mining industry town, and it's working well. But I really want that factory going, or sorry, the community college to keep going, though, because I really want to get my factories up so that they burn down less, and, that'd be great.
And make
plus
greater profit.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. And I also just want to see, if they've really addressed that issue with the educated workers thing.
Yeah.
Because that was a big thing. Once you got your tech, level up and your factories popped up, all of a sudden they started closing all the time because there weren't enough, quote, educated workers.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, my city, everybody's going to this community college. Anybody and everybody that can go is like, it's like the community college isn't even full, right? It's not even full. It's not reaching capacity. And yet there's not enough educated workers. I would expect that error if the college was totally full and there's all these people running around in my city that would go to school and get educated if only I would build them another school.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I'd be down with that. But when my first college isn't even full yet, you can't tell me that there's a problem with uneducated workers because that just means that the Sims are lazy and they ain't going to school. That's all it is. And here I was playing around trying to figure out if there was a way that I could place this over there, but turns out it's not quite possible.
Your happiness is in the crapper.
Yeah, that'll happen. Take a look. Yeah, it's going south.
23 abandoned buildings.
Yeah, this is what happens, guys. So this is the only thing I'm worried about is if happiness will eventually go down completely. But notice it just popped back up to green.
Oh, nice.
And that's because new people are moving in and everything. But you got to wonder if eventually it'll get so ridiculous, that everybody's going to be moving out and, burning down their houses constantly all at the same time. And it'll just be all you'll be doing the entire time is just tearing down buildings and rebuilding. And it could be. We'll see. But it's going to be fun. I'm having fun with it so far. It's interesting, and it's definitely a different way to play the game.
That's for sure.
So, but anyway, we're probably wrapping it up here, guys. We'll cut it off here and get back with you soon with the next installment. Thank you for your patience, guys. Again, sorry for the delay in this latest video. We'll get our schedule together and get back on track shortly here and get you guys something a little bit more often, all right? So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.